32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations, I'm Spaceboy.
I'm Surlana.
And this is Spaceboy Universe. And it is Turkey Day, which is 11/24/2016. And tonight's special guest is us, Spaceboy and Surlana. And we'll take your calls tonight if Skype ever updates. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. And follow Surlana at Surlana. You can follow me at Spaceboy, Spaceboy Music. Remember to use your hashtags and tweets, hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. Want to hang out with the Space Cadets? Go to spaceboyuniverse.com, click the dancing chat bubble, and that will get you in with all the cool kids where all the Space Cadets like to hang out. In addition to Twitter, you can find us on the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. And speaking of YouTube, you can find more than the Spaceboy Universe of archive of shows. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and SBU network stuff, and so much more. Can't catch a show live? No problem. Take the SBU on the go with you via speaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, because we love to broadcast. So, Surlana, I'm going to ask you, how are you? And you can tell me if you can hear yourself.
Yeah,
I
don't think I can.
Why don't you pull that mic a little closer?
And that's fine. That's where it's been forever.
No, pull it a little closer.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It's an omnidirectional, meaning that it has to be in the line of sight. You've got it bent so far back that when I have to crank you up and you do pop somewhere, it blows everybody's eardrums.
Okay. It's only Kay out there.
Still.
Let me ask him what does he hear?
You know, you could have done this, before the show started.
Yeah. Somebody had my mic completely off.
All right, we're back from that technical difficulty, but
I can hear you good now.
Oh, see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm not always putting you on. So that's been our Thanksgiving. I hope that your Thanksgiving has been wonderful, and you've gotten plenty of turkey or fake turkey, depending on if you're a vegetarian or not. We hope that things have been well. So I see K28 is there. He says he's driving.
Mm-hmm.
Now
that's safe.
I hope that he has some kind of voice command thing that he's talking to in order to drive and do all that sort of stuff. So where do we start, Surlana? I mean, it's a special...
I like that you read the entire intro. I wish you'd do that more.
Well, I think I'm going to take over that because it seems like it throws you off when we...
Yeah, it's like I'm not ready to talk until you address me.
I think, but, I do like having you just say your name in there just so that people know that there's... Yeah. We don't want the Laurie effect where they think that you're a ghost, that you don't exist.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I like to make sure people know that there is the lovely Surlana who is across from me on the mic.
I think it's fine if they think I'm a robot.
Well, maybe we need to start doing that in our publications. You know, it'll show me as the astronaut and you as some kind of robot. Not to be confused with Savannah and David. Yeah, I know it's.
Yeah, you've gone out in my left ear. You're not there.
We're back. Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a little strange.
Well, I'm sure it'll clear up.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, this...
K28 said he had veggie hot dogs and sauerkraut mashed potatoes.
You know, I've always wanted to have a veggie hot dog. I've never had one. I mean, you know, I love hot dogs. In fact, I had 2 today when we went to the movies today.
Yeah, we went to the movies before, and then we went
to Denny's.
To Denny's to have Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, that was a hoot.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's nothing better to sit down and for 30 minutes watch other people eat, and you stare at them and you haven't even received your drink order. I definitely got my drink on because I had iced tea, milk, and water. And
out of half the things you ordered.
Yeah, we ordered a turkey plate. And this, I guess in the picture, if you've seen it on my Facebook wall, it comes with broccoli.
That's stupid.
And what? I've never seen turkey dinner come with broccoli.
I know.
I don't think.
I think they're just trying to get rid of their broccoli.
Let me backtrack. I've had broccoli casserole for Thanksgiving.
Well, this is just plain old broccoli.
Plain old broccoli slapped on a plate next to mashed potatoes. And you ordered the substitution of corn.
Get this crap off my plate.
And I ordered double mashed potatoes,
they were out.
They were out of corn.
They're out.
And they brought us a plate with. They brought her the plate with the broccoli mashed potatoes, just like it's in the picture. And then they bring me a plate where I ordered double mashed potatoes, but they only brought me 1 order of mashed potatoes with my plate. So I think I was pretty cool about the situation.
You were.
I did get, I was firm with the waitress. I said, I've been watching you, and I'm going to continue.
Gee, that's not creepy at all.
Well, I think it threw her game off when I was like, I just wanted this.
It wasn't her fault.
I wanted to establish that, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining kind of mentality. I don't need to be, faked out or whatever. And I said, your manager needs to be over there expediting things, and he's not. He's floating around while everybody else is clinging.
With the battery.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess it's been because I've watched too many Gordon Ramsay episodes of Kitchen Nightmares.
I don't think the cook was very happy either. He was the only. I think there was only one there.
There was one person, and then finally the manager gets back there, and I guess kind of to assist, and so. But on the flip side, I kept on trying to remind myself, Jim, this is Thanksgiving. I mean, they're here, they're working. You have to put aside a normal day. And just
I still left you there and got in the car before you paid. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Did you leave because you thought I was going to pull a dad?
I didn't know he was going to explode or what.
What's funny is her dad has been. She's described her dad just like me at times. Where
in the past, I don't know if he bothers to do this anymore.
I think he's easygoing now. I think
he's mellowed. We wore him down.
So
after 3 children,
I guess Surlana just. I mean, I turned around and there was like this dust cloud where she was, and
because he would do that, he'd say, "Okay, y'all got 2 more minutes to get to the car
to get to safe distance."
Yeah, and then he was going to complain.
Now I hear that from the movie Aliens when they're the thing is going off, telling you it's the place is about to explode up. And
speaking of aliens,
so
Alien Covenant is finally got a poster out and a release date.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the poster now, and it's subtle. It's right on par with the classic ones.
Xenomorphs from Alien.
It's just
a
xenomorph. It's the one we know and love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be a sequel.
It's a sequel to Prometheus. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said, do you swear to me it's a sequel to Prometheus?
Yes, it is a sequel.
Because I'm tired of being jerked around by Ridley Scott.
It's funny because I can't think of the other guy that you remember and it'll come to you probably faster than it will for me right now. He did he did this movie in South Africa where the aliens.
Blomkamp?
Yes, he was going to do a sequel to Aliens and all that, and it was going to have Sigourney Weaver and all that.
She was
and,
on board.
and they're still kind of on board with that. They're just waiting for Ridley Scott to get done with his stuff.
Because this is like taking place before or parallel or
Well,
alternatively.
This is taking place before Alien and Aliens and the other two.
They want to see where he goes with it first, and
Yeah,
maybe
I guess
pick up, make sure they can incorporate.
the continuity, you know. So
and
they
Scott's okay with that?
yeah, in fact, I think he talked to him and all that good stuff, and so you know, it should be a good movie because I've heard what this movie is going to be about. It's got David, I guess it was David from the first movie, Prometheus.
Yeah, the freaky.
Yeah, freaky.
It's not an alien movie unless there's some kind of freaky android.
Exactly, and so yeah, the way people get infected this time around, and spoilers, as Dr. Riversong says. You've been warned. It's going to be something like where the black goo stuff infects the environment. So spores from trees can actually infect humans. And then they've described back bursters, neck bursters.
That's what I've heard.
And so it's kind of an interesting take. So it'll be interesting to see how they go down. And then Dr. Shaw,
is she back? That same
well,
woman,
they
or is it
say
different?
that she's going to be in the movie, but I haven't really heard much emphasis on her. And but I think it's going to be a good movie. I'm just happy that
It's a rewatch.
I'm happy to get another alien type movie.
So as she says, Noomi Rapace is turning, along with Catherine Waterston. Danny McBride, which seems odd.
And he's not funny in this movie, which I don't mean to make that as a joke, too, but...
I've never gotten anything out of him.
He has his moments. But anyway, let me backtrack. He's playing a straight character as far as, no comedy in it. He's just, straight up,
no funny business.
No funny business. So it'll be interesting to see how he pulls this one off.
He says that it was going to come out August 4th, but now they're moving it up to May 19th. Providing everything goes to plan. It's another prequel of the Alien universe, as you say. I don't know. I really don't know what to think about it. I'm not as invested in it as you are, but having seen Prometheus, that was so different.
Well, what's interesting is that you look at
that intrigued me.
2017 is going to be another year of Marvel and all that stuff, and May is about the time that Marvel rolls their stuff out, and then I can only imagine what's rolling out from DC. So next year, I guess I don't know. I have to look up the schedule for Justice League. I know that's supposed to be sometime this next year. So. Anyway, you got a lot of big blockbuster movies coming out this next year, and
speaking of spores, you said that's how they would people get infected by the aliens would be spores. Not such an unusual concept. Get this: this is freaky and scary. An unusual thunderstorm in Australia, Melbourne, triggered thousands of asthma attacks, which killed several people. So what happened down there in Australia, in Melbourne, they're kind of known for these thunderstorms. On Monday, it was an unusual thunderstorm, and it claimed 4 lives. But it wasn't normal. It spawned these sudden attacks of rare thunderstorm asthma. Environmental conditions just prior to the storm were responsible for triggering medical chaos that transformed a local hospital into a war zone. And what happened was, the rain, the grass got really wet, so it picked up the ryegrass pollen and it dispersed it all over the city. So that triggered some asthma attacks, and a lot of people who've never suffered from asthma before started suffering. And there were an ambulance service had to respond to more than 1,870 cases, which is 6 times the usual workload for a Monday evening. And they've, like I said, people who've never had asthma in the past had problems. They've never experienced a medical emergency on this level. It was like being on a military-grade catastrophe. There's this one guy who works in an emergency department down there, said, I've been in an emergency position for 35 years, worked in a number of hospitals, and I can say, hand on heart, I have not seen this before. Some patients were having to be transferred to other hospitals, ICUs, and, asthma can be deadly if you don't get help right away, and I think that's what happened.
That is crazy. Wild and crazy.
It's just, I can't, I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen.
Well, I mean, Stranger Things, it's a strange thing. I mean, I've seen those dust clouds in different pictures in Melbourne, tongue-tied here, Melbourne, where these giant dust storms have rolled in and painted everything orange. You would almost swear that you were looking at something from Mars. I mean, it was that kind of orange that you saw.
I've seen that over, like, Phoenix or somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So,
you're going to talk about the thing that I can file my nails for a little bit?
Well, Walking Dead. Well, they've been reporting that the ratings have been down this particular season.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I just got caught up personally by, I haven't been really watching it, and maybe that's why the ratings have been down, is that I haven't, I've been waiting to kind of binge watch a big portion of it and to get into it. I think I watched the first episode, and then I just hadn't seen like 5 episodes or something like that. But I guess right now it's kind of like, and here we go, Dr. River song moment, spoilers. You've got Rick and the gang all kind of busted up after this situation, and everything's kind of dispersed. Things are not normal. You've got Carol off in the kingdom. She gets to meet Ezekiel and his lovely tiger, and that was kind of interesting. And so you're kind of starting to see they're building the foundation of these different groups. And then, of course, how Negan is going to come in and deal with all these. And, so it's kind of following the graphic novel right now. And so we'll have to wait and see how things kind of go down. And maybe it picks up for the second half of the season. It could also be that the Walking Dead franchise has a little bit of fatigue because they have Fear of the Walking Dead, which is another show that takes place before the Walking Dead series, but is not a comic book or illustrated novel of any kind of the original thing. So, there might be that fatigue kind of going on, but I kind of like both, but, I can understand what they're trying to do on The Walking Dead. Once again, kind of reestablish, hey, we've just got this new bad guy. Hey, let's put all the pieces together and then, fight kind of thing, and so I guess just give it some time, we'll just see how it goes.
I like how you're looking at me like I'm paying attention to anything you're saying.
Well, I
don't care.
I just try to make sure that you understand that I do care about you, even when I'm talking about something that you don't care about. Anyway.
Well, we got Fran happening in the chat.
Hey, Fran, I'm glad you made it. And then I see Bob there. Howdy, Bob. And then, of course, K28.
Anybody out there listening can feel free to call in at any time if you want to.
You don't have to wait until after midnight to do that, and because the phone lines are open. And I don't even know how to respond to that one, Fran. So what else do you have on the turntable here?
Hold on one second. I was trying to type to her.
This is live radio.
Well, I just saw something that made me laugh while you were talking.
No, what?
Domino's, the pizza place, is developing a fleet of pizza delivering reindeer.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was robots. Now it's reindeer. This is, of course, guess which country this is happening in.
Reindeer, like Scandinavia or?
You'd think so, but
Canada?
this is Japan.
Oh, Japan. Oh, well, how could I not guess that one?
So, excuse me, I'm sorry it's making me laugh. Domino's Pizza in Japan is preparing for a brutal winter. So they're turning to reindeer to help them navigate that. So Domino's is going to ponder using reindeer to deliver pizza into the snowy reaches of the country. So it sounds stupid on the surface, but it might actually happen. So they're going to have some more details
I imagine
later.
somebody in the remote parts of a country, they would see this reindeer come up, and it's like the pizza is a bonus. I'll eat the reindeer kind of thing, you know. Mm-hmm. So
how will the pizza stay warm? Will the pizza delivery ride on the reindeer? They've got pictures, like little prototype pictures.
So somebody's going to ride the reindeer to the remote
No,
part?
that's what they're trying to speculate on, what's going to happen.
You know, this is from the country that brings you lady garments in a vending machine, and you know,
Yeah, so you
I'm
have
kind
to
of not,
wonder.
I'm not surprised. But I mean, let's face it, they're very innovative in trying new things and, you know, different.
Sorry, I can't catch up with the. That's distracting. You're eating a cookie, and I don't like that cookie.
You
And I
don't
want cookie.
I thought you bought some cookies
No, when would I have had time to do that?
when you did the grocery list.
I put 2 packages of the pre-cut
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookies.
How long ago was that? Am I just thinking of that? Was what you bought?
They didn't
Oh,
put
they
it
didn't
in.
put
They
it-
didn't put it in the cart.
Ah.
So there you go.
We try to do the pick it automated thing where we order it online, and we go pick it up at a specific time. HEB curbside is what we're talking about. Generally, they're pretty good, but you know, what do they give you when you go to pick up the groceries?
2 cookies, but that's not. That's not. You know, that's like little courtesy.
You know, when I was doing the curbside pickup back when it
We
was
would do it
just-
on. You'd go get it on a Sunday morning or something.
well, that or you know during whenever, but I would get hooked up with a couple of cookies, and I got worried because it was this one lady that always brought the cookies out. I thought maybe I was special in some way,
No,
or
this is a different
maybe
guy every time.
maybe I thought I was cute looking or something. But yeah, the lady, they transferred her to another place, and
Good.
yeah, so I thought I was getting good. I was getting cookies. Just
You
'cause
thought it was just you.
I thought it was me. You know, I'm
no,
sorry.
it's not just you.
But it at some point, I went, and when we were grocery shopping, there was the lady. So I immediately made sure, hey, dear, this is the lady I've been getting the cookies from.
that
And-
was just the weirdest intro. This is my cookie dealer, you know. Yeah, but the thing about it is, HEB, this HEB we go to, that's the name of the grocery store, HEB, that's across Texas, has the best bakery of any grocery store I've ever been to. It is just so good.
Well, see, I'm from
Their
San Antonio.
cakes,
They're
the
based
cookies,
they're
the-
based out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
In San Antonio, everywhere you look, there's an HEB. It's not like you can.
That's where it comes out of.
I don't think you can find a Kroger. You can't find any of them. Albertsons, if they're even around anymore.
Albertsons may not be around anymore.
What's Randall's? Any of those stores that are kind of here in Texas, you really don't find because San Antonio is an HEB town. Of course, now you come. They got a really good strong foothold here in Houston.
Oops, sorry.
At several locations, especially the one we're by,
Drop my pen.
because it's
It's in a fancy neighborhood, I think, where all the doctors live, all the physicians.
doctors, lawyers, all that stuff, people that make money.
But that's the only location that has curbside, the one we happen to shop at. And so you get online and you make your account and you pick all the things you want and you pick a day, you pay for it and you pick a day you want to pick it up, pick day and time. And you just roll up in there and they give it to you.
Supposedly they have delivery, but
It's coming.
It is.
I don't
coming?
know if it's gonna. I don't know if we're gonna
Because
be in the zone.
We're going to be like right one block out of
Yeah,
the zone,
yeah.
which bugs us because fast food. We usually can't order much fast food.
However, Amazon doesn't have that problem.
Oh no,
Amazon Prime.
it's called what? No, it's
Amazon
called,
Prime Now.
Yeah, I was going to say now. So
I want to just throw this headset down and go get cookies. I don't really care.
well, that cookie was delicious.
That cookie was not delicious.
No.
That was nasty.
No,
That's like somebody melted fruit and put it on a cookie.
He didn't say that right.
Fruit and baked goods should not be together.
No, it was delicious, babe. I love cherry, and it was cherry-rific.
So you go get you another set and you
Bob
be happy.
posted the reindeer on the Twitter feed.
Oh, why don't I have Twitter open?
It's at the SB Universe.
Yeah, that's it.
And Bob put is that really the
No,
reindeer?
I'm thinking that's a concept,
Because
it's got to be a concept.
I mean, that thing is
Are
not.
reindeer really that placid?
Oh, I was gonna say how it's not even strapped to the dang reindeer.
No,
mean,
I think that's a Photoshop deal.
What's the stop? Okay, first off, how does the reindeer know to go where to go?
No, there's going to be somebody with it.
Oh, I see. So they're going to have to walk the reindeer. It kind of defeats the purpose, or is it just because?
Well, rather than, I guess, being in a car, I guess maybe they're going to be on a sleigh like Santa.
That is, I mean, I'm looking at this thing and. Why don't if they're going to remote places, why would they just not? I don't know.
Well, they remember that we saw or we read about they were going to use, or they somewhere maybe it was England where they were actually using robots to deliver pizza, but it was running over people because it just didn't have any discretion.
Well, it's like get out of my way,
Well, speaking of pizza. A Massachusetts woman was arrested after presenting a slice of pizza as her ID at a bar.
Really? Are you serious? I'd like to have seen that conversation go down.
The Daily Hampshire Gazette reports that this woman and her friends approached the Monkey Bar in Northampton, Massachusetts, and they were asked to show their IDs. And anyone at past age of 21 has been asked many times. She may have misunderstood, according to the newspaper. She presented a slice of pizza as her ID. So apparently, the bouncer dashed her hopes and said that's not a formal piece of identification. So the police were summoned to the bar when another woman asked to show her ID to the doorman and instead attempted to show a slice of pizza. So they told her, hey, that's not good enough to gain entry for your ID. So the woman slapped the doorman in the face. According to police, it was issued a trespass notice to stay away from the location.
Okay. On that note, let's move on to something musical. It is Spaceboy Music Night that we usually do on Thursday nights. But since it's a special Thanksgiving special that we're doing, it's kind of a combination SBU, SBM night. And so let's play something related to SB music. So here it goes.
start this journey through that.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Now here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Yes, we're back. And Surlana, are you okay over there? You look like you...
Oh, I was reading something.
Oh, okay.
And I'm hungry.
Budapest hungry?
Why do you have to do that?
Well, until I can figure out another location, that was my first one. So she's shaking her head over there. No, because I've told a terrible joke. But anyway, what are you reading over there?
NASA's impossible EM drive was verified to work by independent review. So I don't recall this, but they said last year NASA scientists caused a big hoo-ha because they said that, or they were revealing a design called the M drive. Mm-hmm. It's big E, little m, big D. So M drive or EM drive?
The EM drive.
Really? Why don't they have that capitalized in? Might actually have something to do with it. Okay, so they're saying they've got this type of drive, but they're saying under the current understanding of the laws of physics, it's not possible. But, so they released it to peer review, and the peer review says it passes. So NASA might be on track to figuring this out. So it has to do with electromagnetic radiation released in a microwave cavity, and that bounces around. And so space, even with a flashlight, will give you thrust. This would, in theory, push the ship without any propellant. A big deal because until you use it, propellant is just dead weight, and you need a lot of it. So this manages to violate both Newton's third law and the conservation of momentum. So the drive is impossible. I'm not going to pretend to understand that. Mm-hmm. They say that people have built this, and they keep finding it works, though errors and other issues keep cropping up. The problem is the amount of thrust is so small, it falls within the margin of error in the experiment. However, a new experiment in a vacuum has revealed consistent results. So NASA's brought a bunch of peers to look it all over, look at their data, and check if they missed anything. And so far, the review says they haven't missed anything. So why does it work? So NASA's paper says addresses this quantum theory. They use the theory of pilot waves. Again, I'm not going to presume to understand any of that, to argue that there's something going on in this thing that we haven't figured out yet. Well, that's very scientific.
Mm-hmm. Why is NASA dragging their heels on this? I mean...
basically what they're saying, dear, is this thing can't violate the laws of physics, but we're not really sure just how it can't do that and still work. So they're saying the laws of physics saying that shouldn't work, but it works, despite breaking the laws.
Breaking the laws.
Breaking the law. So they're saying that this happens a lot in science where something is said that theoretically is not supposed to happen, but it happens. Mm-hmm. But so then they said the next step is launch this thing into space, see what happens. What it would mean is you could get to Mars in a few months, Pluto in a year and a half. Still, that seems slow to me.
What, to get to Pluto in a month and a half?
Yeah, it still seems slow.
I mean, it takes them a significantly longer time to get there now. I mean, what did they say about the journey to Mars? Mars, within a month?
It would take a few months. Pluto, a year and a half. Still seems slow to me.
I mean, at conventional ways of doing space travel to Mars, you're looking at over 6 months to get to Mars. So currently, so to cut that journey down to just a couple months is significant.
humans could survive a 2-month trip?
Well, they could have survived the 6-month trip, but that'd be like, man, that's a heck of a trip inside of a tin can. But to make it in 2 months is a lot better because it doesn't take that much longer. I mean, so, and then of course, did it say anything about the travel to the moon? Currently,
No.
with the current propulsion, it takes about I think 3 days to get to the moon.
The image for the story is the Enterprise 1701 and the Millennium Falcon flying together.
All in perfect harmony?
Well, that's just... I know you're all hopped up about Rogue One.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that to come out. I'm excited. I mean, the video looks awesome, the trailer. So,
there's apparently a new one.
I don't have much to say right now about it other than is like I just can't wait. I mean, it's got a female lead. It's got hopefully a lot of things that are filling in the cracks of plot holes that the original movies have left us with. And
well, have you seen the new spot for it?
I believe I've seen the new spot.
Weeks before the movie arrives, it's they said it looks amazing. I've not seen this. It said it appears that the Death Star trashes a planet before it takes the fateful voyage to Alderaan to end the life of Jimmy Smits. And that's where the X-Wings swoop in and try to do some damage. So we only see bits and pieces, but it's enough to evoke a new hope, but with better cameras. So they're saying it's particularly interesting more and more. It's clear Rogue One is supposed to serve as a bridge between all the prequel media Lucas turned out and the original trilogy everybody knows and loves.
Yes.
Forrest Whitaker plays a major character from the Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah, he does, which is kind of cool because they've because they made it canon. They made the Clone Wars canon. And they're also making Rebels.
That's nice for you.
Rebels, which is the other
you watch
series.
those.
Rebels is also canon. So those two actually are, the impact or the actual live action stuff.
For example, it's pretty clear that after Anakin got lightly toasted by lava, he did not have a good time, but we'll find out soon enough on December 16th.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I'll be, pumping that up left and right. And speaking of movies, Netflix has stuff coming out soon. And just want to go down a few of these things that are coming out. There was this movie called Always, which came out in 1989 about, I guess it was Richard Dreyfuss as this pilot that would fly for firefighter. He was a firefighter, that drops the water on forest fires and stuff. And he tells his girlfriend, "Hey, look, I'm going to do just one more run, and I'm done." Of course, it never ends.
I was 48 hours from retirement.
Yeah, so it was kind of one of those things where he dies in that. I hate to spoil it, but you should watch it anyway.
But it's an old movie.
It's an old movie.
It's your fault for not seeing it.
It's a good movie. I
basically what it's
recommend it. So, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Well, you haven't seen Beverly Hills Cop, have you?
No, I should, though. I feel like I should.
Well, good for you, because guess what's coming to Netflix?
Beverly Hills Cop?
Beverly Hills Cop, the first one. That movie came out in 1984. Stars one of our funny favorites from SNL, Eddie Murphy. And it'll be a great chance for you to actually sit down and watch that. I'd be willing to watch that again. Great movie. Another thing that Netflix is bringing, Bob Ross. I mean, I know the old man has passed away, but, he has left us with so many paintings.
I heard that somebody, I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch. Twitch is an internet service where mostly you just stream your live gaming.
Right.
Well, I heard somebody on Twitch had been doing streaming of old Bob Ross shows from PBS. So, and now the younger generations, way younger than us, have discovered him and they're loving it. I don't know if this is because they've got some herbal cigarettes and they're liking it, or they generally like it stone cold sober. Either way, I remember watching it because there was no other options.
Yeah, PBS, you
there
flip
was
that
nothing
thing on,
else
and it's
on.
like, hey, But the thing is, I always
Cool, Bob.
enjoyed watching Bob Ross, and I mean, he was just so mellow and relaxed, and you know,
There. I don't know if you can find it. I saw it on YouTube, but this was a while back. Now, I don't know if y'all are familiar with comedian Patton Oswalt. You may have heard of him recently because his wife, passed away, fairly recently. But years and years ago, he did a bit about, talking about Bob Ross and like everybody does, but he goes, and that's all well and good. But he goes, he did not find Bob Ross as fascinating as the guy that came on after him, which was like, what was his name? William Alexander. He was the German talking about the almighty fan brush. And I used to watch that guy too, again, because there was nothing else on but golf and painting. So he has a routine about the German painter that was on PBS that just brought tears to my eyes. It was so funny. So go try to find that if you can. It's when Patton gets worked up, it's always funny.
Yeah, definitely. And so continue some of these things that are coming out on Netflix.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Because it's all good stuff. For the Love of Spock is going to be out, and I know that's been out. And basically, it's the son of Leonard Nimoy who has done this documentary and kind of gotten people. The one thing that you could say that is good that has come out of the 50th anniversary of Star Trek is this documentary and the love that people have had for Leonard Nimoy.
Now, didn't his son, for the longest time, didn't really have anything to do with Star Trek?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say, he wasn't like at the conventions, and all that other stuff, but,
while his dad was alive.
And in the documentary, he starts off describing his father, how he would go, do his work, but then he would come home, have dinner with the family, and then start to read his lines and, get that all worked up, and then he'd go to bed. And that was pretty much his routine while he did Star Trek, just shake and bake, kind of doing the thing. There's an adorable picture of Leonard Nimoy's son with the Spock ears on, and, so clearly, I get the sense that he did, love his father. I don't think there was any kind of like, he was always away from the home and, we didn't get to see him hardly any. I don't get that from this.
Yeah, whereas some of the other people who were on other Star Trek TV shows, it basically ruined their home life because they were never home.
Right.
And it broke up marriages. Children grew up resenting Star Trek for taking their parents. I just, it's just different experiences.
Speaking of cryptozoology.
Who was speaking of cryptozoology?
I thought I'd just change the subject real quick. Do you remember the movie Harry and the Hendersons?
I'm aware of it, but I deliberately didn't watch it.
Well, if you're into Bigfoot, then you must look at this wonderful movie back from the early 80s called Harry and the Hendersons, where a family takes in a lovable Bigfoot, and hijinks begin from there. So it's another one of those classic 80 movies that you should check out. It has John Lithgow in it, and so he's a great actor. In fact, I'm watching a Netflix drama called The Crown, and he's playing Winston Churchill.
Wow.
I was like blown away, like, wait a minute, that's John Lithgow. I would have never guessed it. Because at certain profiles...
He's a chameleon. He could be
anything.
Yeah.
He can even be a serial killer on Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's coming out next month. Let's see, The Rock, that's another guy movie that you should check out with Sean Connery.
These are old. Some
of these are old but classics. The Way of the Dragon is another good movie with Bruce Lee in. Here is something that we need to check out because I've seen pictures of the show, and it's called Pacific Heat, and it looks an awfully lot like Archer.
Does it?
Yes, from the pictures I've seen. So Pacific Heat coming to Netflix. And then finally last one, and I know how you feel about Mythbusters, but the B Team has got their own show coming to Netflix called White Rabbit. And
I thought that was out already.
No, it comes out this next month in December. So there you go. There's my Netflix round out and some of the stuff I'm looking forward to. Now, as I was telling you, I'm watching The Crown, which is about Queen Elizabeth. and it's been interesting so far. And so I've kind of enjoyed that. I'm surprised that you haven't gotten into it since you seem to like British things.
What is this again?
It's called The Crown. It's a
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I could probably get into it then.
Matt Smith plays Prince Philip, which is Queen Elizabeth's husband, and so there's people, like I said, John Lithgow's in there. You will recognize some other people, and since you are hardcore as far as knowing your British actors, I'm sure there's a bunch of more people.
I'm
in
not
this.
hardcore knowing British actors.
You're more hardcore than I am. I mean, you'd recognize a lot more people than I do.
Probably so.
Yeah. So, good show.
Is that still on Netflix?
Yes, so that's the Netflix Roundout, and that's also on Netflix, The Crown. I noticed they've got a few more comedies coming out. Dana Carvey is back with his own special.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
He's hot again.
Yeah, and speaking of comebacks, is it David? Dave Chappelle. He just signed a contract with Netflix for $60 million for original programming for him. So David Chappelle is coming back, and Netflix is, going to give him the hookup. Interesting thing about him is that he left the business because, and he had a $50 million payout offered to him, but he left the business because he felt like they didn't want to be compromised with his acting and his comedy routines.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he leaves, and then so many years later he comes back, and now he's making $60 million from Netflix. So go think it. And I haven't heard anything else on the front of Disney trying to swallow up Netflix. Although
I really hope that doesn't happen.
I really hope it doesn't. I mean,
they don't need
I
to be
don't
bigger.
mind the fact that Disney is working out a deal with programming with them, but
no, don't touch
it. I think Disney would ruin Netflix,
yes.
and I just hope that doesn't happen. No offense to Disney. You stay on your side of the fence. Netflix, you keep on doing what you're doing because I love what you're doing. I like to get all my programming from Netflix.
Well, you like Star Tours, did you?
Star Tours.
Star Tours.
Dun, 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 dun.
You hear that George Lucas considered Clone Wars TV spinoff and Younglings movie?
Yes.
Okay, so you're already ahead of that.
There were a lot of movies, but do you have information in front of you about that?
Yeah.
Go ahead and let our audience know.
So this was supposed to be, hold on one second. The Clone Wars animated CGI animation started in 2008 with a feature pilot released in theaters. So that came out before Rogue One,
right?
And it ran for 6 seasons. So despite being kind of only for kids, it eventually evolved to a mature pocket of the Star Wars universe fans, exploring the Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan Kenobi's relationship, the philosophy of the Jedi, the nature of the Force.
It really filled in the cracks after, and all, during that Clone War time.
I'm guessing it was better than the first 3 movies, is what I'm understanding. First 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I've often said that the Clone Wars is the most interesting out of the original 1, 2, and 3. And then you get the animated CGI show, which starts off kind of kiddish, but then really goes into good storytelling.
Yeah, I said despite being set in a controversial prequel area, it felt like a real successor to the original film trilogy. In many fans' eyes, it made up for episodes 1 through 3, the movies. And it swiftly wrapped up when George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, but the show's team moved on to a spiritual successor, the original trilogy era set Star Wars Rebels. However, things almost went very differently.
Really?
A Twitter thread on Lucasfilm's story development executive and font of all Star Wars knowledge, Pablo Hidalgo, says the complicated release structure of the series, and in doing so, he revealed that at one point George Lucas considered taking the Younglings episodes from Season 5 and editing them into a movie of their own that would double as a pilot for the new series aimed at younger audience. This film would reportedly produce an almost developed... This film was reportedly produced and almost screened at a Star Wars Celebration event. But it's unclear if it was ever developed enough to address a theatrical run. But Lucas eventually changed his mind and kept the younglings simply a part of the parent show.
Yeah, so...
I'm looking at a screenshot, and they're sort of cute.
Right. I'm glad they didn't do the cute route. I mean, the only cute part that I do like when they do Star Wars is when they do the Legos, and they do that with all sorts of, take your pick of what they've done. And, Batman... Arnett is so funny as Batman, as the Lego Batman. And I think there's a movie coming out soon. I don't know the date on that one, but that looks pretty funny. I know you're shaking your head. I don't want to go to that one.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, but, I'm glad that they took the route with the Rebel thing, and they brought characters from the Clone Wars into Rebels, and it's been fun because, it's like, dun, dun, dun. Whoa, that character's back. Oh, I can't believe it. Or that person's still alive. I can't believe that person's still alive. So it's been really good. And then plus the development of one of the characters, two of the characters, one who was young during the Clone Wars is now has a Padawan that he's training, and he's very, very intense with the Force like Skywalker was, where he has fears, and so no one knows exactly what his future is, and it'll be interesting to see if the Rebels pans out into the next Star Wars movie.
Did they cancel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, it's still out. In fact, it's on. Usually, my thing is I usually wait until it's done so I can binge watch it. They've got Ghost Rider is on the show right now, and so no, they haven't canceled that. So, so it's it's a hiatus talk for me, So I don't usually watch it until the season ends, and then I can go back and binge watch.
Oh, you're talking about the Justice Leagues? We're talking about the movie?
Yes.
Well, that's the one where we saw the trailers, and it was the Ben Affleck playing. Ben Flack playing.
There you go. It's part Batman,
and he comes up.
He's searching for the teams.
He's looking for Aquaman, and Jason Momoa just looks like a beast, doesn't he?
So basically, at the end of Batman versus Superman, he acquires these files that have these people with special powers. So at the end of Batman versus Superman, he goes looking for these people. And Justice League is where, you see Batman going out, or Bruce Wayne looking for, Aquaman, and, Barry Allen as the Flash, and all these people. And, of course, you kind of don't see Superman, but I guess you kind of hope that towards the end of that, you see Superman come back to life, and that's a whole thing. I don't want to spoil any more for that, but just know that this is long overdue. They should have had this movie out long time ago. Marvel, let's put it this way, Marvel has kicked their butt when it has come to creating a universe. And all you get is the sense of DC trying to catch up to Marvel. And hopefully...
I wonder why they took so long anyway.
I guess they just didn't have the vision in place that Marvel has, and obviously Marvel has hit it out of the park. So I can only hope that the Justice League movie does well, because you still have individual movies like The Flash, Aquaman movie, and so you've got all these different movies single movies, and then of course Ben Affleck wants to do a Batman movie, so he's developing that. So.
There's going to be a new gritty reboot of The Wizard of Oz.
Really?
Called Emerald City.
I think I saw a picture of that today somewhere as I was surfing along.
Yeah, it's got the usual characters. It's got a young girl and a dog that looks more like a German Shepherd.
So is this actually the story of Dorothy?
Well, there's a Braveheart-looking Scottish warrior offering Dorothy advice, a lion-headed fellow who isn't looking all that cowardly. The Scarecrow is introduced on what happens to be a crucifix, and he seems to be established as a potential love interest for Dorothy. It's going to be episodic, sharing writing credits with author Frank L. Baum, as well as David Schulner and Matthew Arnold. I don't know who they are. It's going to star Adria Arjona as Dorothy and Vincent D'Onofrio, Anna Aluru.
Really? It's got Vincent in it?
A lot of other names I don't know who these are, but it's gonna have gritty realism, and so it's gonna Scarecrow, Tin Man,
Why
Cowardly
does
Lion.
Wizard of Oz need gritty realism?
Because of Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. Oh, it's kind of like they want to redo it to feel more like that. And
okay.
Ooh.
What?
Alien Nation remake.
Okay. Well, before you get into that, let's take our top of the hour break.
I want to read about this.
And we'll come back and talk Alien Nation. So you are listening to Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana, and we'll be right back.
I'm from another planet.
Mark your calendars. The Houston Mini Maker Faire will be at the George R. Brown Convention Center for a 2-day event on November 12th and 13th. Come join them and be a part of their growth story as they boost invention and creativity through the greater Houston area by developing a world-class exhibition. Stay tuned to the official Houston Mini Maker Faire website at www.houstonmakerfair.com to hear more insights about content, schedule, tickets, and maker exhibitor registration.
Hello Space Cadets. It is announcer Savannah. I want to tell you that as a dedicated member of the SBU team, you always want to look your best. Do it in a Spaceboy Universe t-shirt. Get yours at spaceboyuniverse.com by clicking the banner on the website.
This is author Gordon Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Explore the universe, spaceboyuniverse.com. Spaceboy. And Surlana. Spaceboy, and Surlana. Spaceboy, and Surlana. Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana on spaceboyuniverse.com.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
SpaceboyUniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at SpaceboyMusic.com.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
Greetings everyone. You can catch Spaceboy Universe on every Saturday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. However, we know that you might not be able to catch the live show. That is why we have many places to listen to it on demand, like iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube and Spreaker. So take the universe with you wherever you go.
To call in, dial area code 7137015-214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. We are back, and Surlana looks dazed over. I think she's hungry right now.
I am.
So, you got to read briefly.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get to read anything? Okay,
no.
Well, then we'll move on to something else.
I couldn't click that because when you click that link, it auto-plays a video.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stop it in time.
And this is live as we're talking right now. Surlana, could you see if there's something in that CD tray over there?
Which tray? This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, just on the other side. And we're looking.
What am I clicking here? Oh, there it is. Nope.
Nope. Okay. Do you have something in your CD tray in that computer?
Is it on the same side?
Yeah. And
Why would there be something in the CD tray?
Because I built the computers and
I don't even know how you get in here.
Anyway, so she's looking for the there we go.
Nope.
Nothing in that one too. Okay.
God, when was the last time I touched a CD tray on a computer?
Yeah, I was just trying to find to see if one of our computers had Ubuntu in it. Ubuntu or.
Well, there's good news for you.
What's that news?
This is the news your year needed. Eating cheese linked to a longer life.
Hey, I've eaten a lot of cheese in my life. In fact, there's an interesting story. Young Spaceboy, when I was about 5, I ran away from home with a piece of cheese.
That's all you needed, huh?
Yeah, they found me like a couple blocks down the road, literally down the road from my house, and they managed to get me back home. And, of course, my mother freaked because apparently I had used the window to escape, and she did not even know, and she thought I was asleep. But I managed to steal a block of cheese out of the refrigerator and made my escape to,
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's a true story.
So based on a new study from Nature Science, cheese could be the answer we all need, not just any kind of cheese, though, but aged cheeses that have compound spermidine and specifically seem to extend the life of mammals based on tests with rats and mice. They also consulted hundreds of Italians about how much cheese they eat and then observed the health effects based on the responses, which is smart, seeing as there is no nationality more known to love putting cheese in and on everything. The risk of high blood pressure and heart failure both lessened with more cheese intake due to effects of this compound, which is great news for people who love a gooey 6-cheese mac and cheese on their plate. This compound is also found in certain vegetables and grains, which is why you'd be healthy and eat vegetables when you could just smother every meal in aged sharp cheddar. So I like that.
Yeah, I love cheese, definitely. I think I love cheese.
Oh, for those asking, the turkey was actually decent. The gravy was decent. There just wasn't hardly any of it because they were running out, and we weren't happy. Which is why I'm hungry now, and I don't know what we're going to do.
We'll figure something out. The thing is, it was the turkey was delicious. You didn't clear off your plate. I don't know why. You just maybe because you had nachos and what
you
else?
had 2 hot dogs.
Yeah, I had 2 hot dogs, but I was my tank was empty. I made sure my tank was empty before we left home and went off onto the movies and then Denny's afterwards. So I finished off everything but your broccoli that you didn't eat on your plate.
Nobody wants to touch the broccoli.
No, I didn't want. I think it was just a matter of the fact that I did not request that, and I would have expected. Hey, they told me back there that they are out of corn. Do you want to substitute it for something else? They didn't even give us the option to just tell us, what, Yeah.
Nobody cares about this.
Well, I'm just putting it out there, that's how my Thanksgiving went. So hopefully some of y'all's Thanksgiving went a lot better. And, of course, if you want to tell us about it, you can call us at 713-701-5214. 713-701-5214. So, it is what it is. What else you got over there?
Man charged after allegedly punching a shark. How would they know?
What? How would... explain that one to me.
A 20-year-old man is facing charges in Florida after he allegedly punched a hammerhead shark, which later died. Wildlife officials said they got a call from a witness claiming two men brought an 8-foot-long hammerhead shark ashore. The male had his left arm around the shark's head and was punching it repeatedly in the stomach, said the witness to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. So this guy told the commission that after punching the shark, the men dragged it up on the beach and sat a small child on top of it before taking a photo. The males then pulled the shark back into the water, tried to revive it, but to no avail. So they tried to keep it alive after they bullied it.
So what? Yeah, so they bullied the shark. They went in there and said, "Oh, look, here's a hammerhead," and they pulled it out of the water and proceeded to pound on this thing.
Well, they caught one of the men, and one of them admitted they'd caught the shark, but denied they'd hit the animal. So somebody on Twitter at Squall Live put, "Punched a shark. That guy better watch out. Sharknado may be on the lookout for him. What goes around comes around, mister."
That is nutty.
The guy said he changed his story, attempted to explain that he was punching the shark around the stomach area to get the air out of its lungs. It's kind of like doing CPR on a shark. To revive the shark, all he had to do was run water through the shark's gills. So he was charged with taking a prohibited species, and his arraignment is scheduled to take place next month.
Well, stupid dude. I mean, should have, I'd understand if the shark had attacked him and, he just tripped out on the shark, but just to go out there and bully a shark.
And pull it to shore and put a kid on it, it just seems
wrong
to go past what's necessary. Also, I've been hearing this on social media, but this guy says this Malaysian fireman swears he did not marry his pet snake.
Okay.
A firefighter in Malaysia responded angrily to reports in the UK claiming he had married his pet snake. So there was these pictures of him, about a man from Thailand who reports said married a 10-foot-long cobra believed to be a reincarnation of his dead girlfriend. The story was featured on the Daily Mail and Daily Mirror websites alongside photos of Mr. Hussein with a snake. These pictures are of me. They used my photos and started making up stories that I married a snake. I just want to express my disappointment over the attitude of a handful of foreign journalists who acted in clear violation of journalistic ethics in publishing the news, especially since the pictures were clearly taken from my Facebook account. Although these pictures are pretty darn hilarious.
I can only imagine.
He's out in the field.
Yeah.
He's laying kind of like on the ground. He's got a Coca-Cola vanilla can. He's got a selfie stick, and there's this little cobra like right behind him with a can, like they're just having a fun day out,
That's what I can imagine.
He's been working with snakes since 2007 as part of his work with the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department. The snakes are with me so that I can observe their behavior. Catching snakes is part of a fireman's duty. I'm training other firemen how to handle and manage snakes. After they're caught, we can release them. Again, there's the guy sitting on his living room floor with a cobra, and they're just chilling out watching TV. I mean, the cobra's looking at the TV, too. So what happened was the BBC contacted the news agency, which sold the story to the Mirror Online, and said the original story about a man marrying a snake had been provided by a British journalist in Thailand. The story was checked according to the journalist, and if the information was incorrect, we can only report what the journalist believed the story to be after doing his own checks.
All right. Speaking of pets, I came across this video online of this pet owner's dog has been trained to use the pot, so to speak. And, say what you will about this, but what I find kind of bothersome about the video is, like, they get right up on the dog while he's on top of the pod. And I'm like, can you give the dog some privacy? I mean, it just, I mean, for a second there I'm thinking, do we have to be that close to seeing the dog in the toilet? I mean, it's really it's bothersome, and it's like one of those.
You're concerned about the dog's privacy.
Well, I am concerned about the dog's privacy. I'm thinking, hey, would I appreciate the fact of somebody zooming in just to see?
That's different. You're a human.
No, but I mean, still, it's not every day that you see the dog doing his business. Oh my goodness, I'm watching the video right now, and I'm telling you, that is just pure nastiness in the sense of I don't need to see the dog poop in the toilet. And he flushes the toilet too. He's that well trained.
He's ahead of a lot of people. Then
I mean, he puts the lid down, so I guess the ladies would like that.
Yeah, that's very considerate of him.
They don't fall in or anything. But I mean, so my response initially is give the dog some privacy. If he's gonna use that thing.
Well, how are they going to prove that he's doing it if they don't take...
Well, in this video, I saw him drop a deuce. I mean, I didn't care to see that.
I'm sorry that you're so worked up about it.
I am a little worked up over it because, I mean, I was like, really? I don't know. It could have been handled a little bit better, and I could have done without the watching the dog do his business that way.
Okay, what about some more... WTF here. 89-year-old digs his own grave because he loves digging. What do you think about that?
I think I heard that. And, well, if you love digging, it's to each their own,
Jimmy Kickham is an 89-year-old business owner from Canada's Prince Edward Island. And he made a decision to dig his own grave. He used his own Massey Ferguson digger, which he bought 45 years ago, to excavate a hole at his local church while his 7 children watched. I'm the only one in Canada who's done that at my age with my own backhoe and my own family. I was kind of proud of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the octogenarian owns his own construction firm, and for the last 50 years has dug countless trenches for sewer mains, power lines, and the like. Because I love digging. It's one of those things that gets into your system. It's just work, money. No matter what they wanted dug, I could do it. So he told the Guardian that his process of digging his own grave was fairly swiftly accomplished. He and his family left home around 6 p.m. The job was done approximately 7:45. At that time, he not only dug the 5 feet deep hole, but also lowered in a pine box into which his coffin will be placed and will be covered with a layer of soil. And when the time comes, he said, where a few days before the funeral, the grave would be dug, a pine box would be lowered in the hole and covered with island's red clay. Preliminary steps have been taken. His family have a few less things to worry about. He asked whether he thought other people would consider him strange for doing this. He says, there'll be a lot of people who'll have some remarks about it. But if they're not talking about me, they'll be talking about something else. So.
Well, since we're on the vein of strange news, did you hear about Saturn?
What's it doing now? Indecent exposure?
Well, it changed its colors. Saturn's North Pole just changed the color, and nobody seems to know why. And it's a wonderful-looking bluish purple.
Now, is this just the first time they've observed it?
I don't know.
How would we know it hasn't done it while we weren't looking?
Well, basically, just when you thought our planet had enough doomsday problems to grapple with, Saturn went ahead and changed its colors on us. Specifically, Saturn's North Pole, a hexagonal vortex that Gizmodo claims could swallow our whole planet whole. While no one knows for certain how Saturn...
Because of the size?
No one knows for certain how Saturn's North Pole came to be this way. Scientists have been tracking its shifting hue thanks to the Cassini imaging team, a probe that has been circling the planet since 2004. So
this, what's this? You're saying the size of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Saturn.
Area?
Yeah, that area. I mean, yeah, Saturn's pretty huge. So can't remember how many Earths could actually fit into Saturn, but yeah, at least at the North Pole where this change is going on, it could easily just go, drop Earth into it, and
I'm just curious. I mean, is this the first time that's been observed? I'm wondering if it's been doing that.
Well, I get the impression
without us knowing.
Some of the planets in our solar system and Pluto have had some weird changes in things that have happened recently,
You're
and
thinking
nobody
like
knows why.
2001 Space Odyssey type
foreboding,
or
it could be. We keep going back to Planet X kind of thing. Being just out there, or
now. If you recall, when we did that Kubrick conspiracy thing, that the original story had all of this taking place with Saturn, not Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturn is supposedly more significant than Jupiter because, Saturnalia, the worship of Saturn, Saturn's rings, the cult of Saturn, that's all kind of... and that they changed it for the movie, they changed it to Jupiter because they felt Saturn was too on the nose. If you recall all that, I know it was way back when we did that show on Kubrick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they're saying NASA believes that it's a change of Saturn's seasons, and it's making this bluish color to more golden hue. So, it's hard to trust these guys anyway. Had it just never been observed before? We never saw it because we didn't have the ability, or? Well, as technology gets in the hands of the everyday man, it makes it easier for them to see things that before that was held back because of we can't handle the truth.
Can you buy a consumer telescope powerful enough to see stuff like this on your own?
Oh, yeah.
If you're in the right place.
When I took that astronomy class, it's amazing what you can see
really
in the sky. Yes. And
interesting.
It's totally fascinating. Even basic model of telescope, you could see the moons around Jupiter.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wish
we could see that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
We're stuck in the middle of the city, though.
Yeah, we at some point we'll move to the country. Some point.
Apocalypse.
Never know. So you got something after my article?
No, if you got something else, I'll look for more.
Let's see here. What do I got here? Midnight in the Desert is reporting, and that's I guess on the Dark Matter radio network. Ghost ship found off the coast of Vietnam with its lights still on, but nobody was home. What, was that pretty good? Or
yeah, that's what they say about people who are not so smart.
Well, yeah.
Lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah, so it's basically on Wednesday, November 16th, Vietnamese authorities towed in an abandoned ghost ship to, and I'm not even going to attempt to say where this city is. Because,
I can't pronounce it.
The 40-meter long vessel was found floating off the coast and still intact, and with its lights on, with no souls aboard. The boat was identified and carried a serial number of something and 19007. However, while the boat bears Chinese markings, the current ownership of the vessel is unknown, as no flags were found to mark the current country of origin. The boat, while rusty, looked to be in good condition, except much of it was stripped before abandoned. So,
like it been, raided?
Kind of raided, pirates on the sea maybe, or who knows what mysteries could have...
did they say how long the boat had been there?
No, it can't have been that long because the lights were still on it. Apparently it must have had battery cells that were still active and capable of running electricity on board the boat. So,
That's strange. That sounds like a premise to a movie or something.
Yeah, it does. I've seen several movies like that. There was that one movie called The Virus, which starred Jamie Lee Curtis. There's Ghost Ship, exactly, was another one.
That's more paranormal, I think.
Yeah, the paranormal, definitely interesting.
Okay. Now, here's something I put on my personal Facebook page.
What? You're actually reading something from an article you posted on your Facebook page?
This was a couple days ago. Slug spotted with cigarette in East London. Cigarettes are cause untold misery, deeds of death. Nicotine addiction is not something one should ever encourage, condone, or celebrate, unless, of course, you're talking about a slug. So this slug, and there's a picture of it, was spotted on the streets of Walthamstow this week by a local resident. They took a photo, and it really looks like the slug is smoking a cigarette. Now, it could just be the simple fact that it, slugs being a little sticky and whatnot, it probably rolled across it, and it can't probably get it off its face. So this person tweeted, just walked past a slug with a cigarette in its mouth. She spotted the gastropod slouching along Church Hill Road, brandishing and this is what the English call a cigarette, a fag. That's their slang for it.
Right.
And the insouciance of a young Brando, almost certainly ignorant of the decades of research illustrating carcinogenic effects of tobacco. Other people tweeted in response to her, heavy smoking does tend to make one sluggish. Blimey, Walthamstow's gone up market. In my days, the slugs could only afford roll-ups. Another response, I saw it in the chemist earlier trying to buy some Nicorette gum, but the woman wouldn't serve it. So that's a habit that seems to be spreading. Earlier this year, a Mancunian magpie became the star on Twitter after being photographed with a cigarette. Mancunian, that's somebody from, I guess, Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Ricky's always calling Pilkington a mank.
Yeah.
So there's
Ricky
sure enough,
Gervais.
Ricky Gervais. Sure enough, there's a photo of a magpie with a cigarette and it's a bead. I mean, I think, it's the correct way around, too. It's not like it's got it backwards or anything.
Well, we've seen a video where a bird came down and took a guy's cigarette before, so I'm not surprised with a bird doing that.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we've all seen the chain-smoking chimpanzee.
Mm-hmm.
That caused a big of an uproar, in PETA and all the wildlife places. So, but slugs, I guess maybe they fell into a bad crowd or something. But yeah, I just had to mention that as that's one of the craziest things I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of karma, I like.
Speaking of karma,
I like to throw you off like that. Maybe it's the conversations I'm having in my own life.
That's sad.
I know. So I was reading this article about this man who basically a rude commuter shoves a man on the morning train. Then karma teaches him a lesson.
Oh, those are the kind of stories I like.
I do like this one.
Yeah, I like where you get your comeuppance.
So basically, this man is trying to make his way, I guess, to get on the...
Making his way downtown?
Yeah, making his way downtown. So, yeah, he was making his way to, I guess, get to this interview. And on the way there, he he bumps into this guy and like, tells him off and where to go and all that other stuff, and so from there he the guy takes off to try to get to his appointment. So the guy makes the appointment, and so
the guy's at the appointment, isn't he?
He's there for a job interview.
Ooh!
And so what happens is the guy that he bumped and told off
is interviewing
him.
Oh,
yeah. So basically,
it pays to be good.
You never know who you're going to
see. That's like the mentality I have is once I get into the downtown area near where I work, I try not to get upset because it's happened to where I've had somebody driving in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
That I was like, what the Sam hell are you doing? Just like, why are you doing, And if I had gotten upset or something or honked, it's like, sure enough, I followed them right in to where I parked at work. And I'm like, it's a good thing I didn't say anything because I'd have to confront this person and I'd probably have to see this person every day for the next 5 to 10 years,
Well, the guy that I guess got shoved, the guy basically he told the guy, we need someone a bit more senior, so no, but I didn't hold it against him. The tube makes us all crazy. From Britain, their subway system.
Unusual.
Yeah, so he took a good stiff upper lip and just said, I think we just need somebody with a little bit more senior, more matureness, if you will. So that's what happened to him. He pretty much, you should be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, it's hard because, I like to honk my horn when somebody is not driving correctly.
Well, you and I have watched videos on YouTube where it's just like compilation videos of fails and whatnot, where it'd be like road rage, and then occasionally, very occasionally, someone catches this on their dash cam where somebody makes some kind of violation, or they're speeding through traffic, cut someone off, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, whoop, whoop, here comes the police. And it's the sound of the police. And the person in the car with the cam will be like, yes! Yeah. Got what he deserved.
All right, so Surlana, we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's go ahead and take a musical break. And we're pulling one out of the vault, that Spaceboy Music Vault.
You like saying vault, don't you?
Yeah, which airs every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This song is called No Fate. Hey guys, you're listening to Spaceboy Universe and Surlana banging on her mic system. So yeah, the number is 713.
You don't know where we are.
713-701-5214. Don't be bashful. You can call in if you want to and just chat whatever's on your mind. It's kind of an open flow tonight. And it's up to you if you want to call in. It'd be great. We are not staying up late after hours, Fran. So, if you want to call, you can call now.
Because somebody has to go back to work tomorrow, but then one of us doesn't.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Oh, I did that completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, you've heard that Stephen Hawking, and you're going to hear us cracking open some bags and some drinks here.
Well, I'll try not to do that.
Because,
that's rude. I'm trying to do that.
It's a special Thanksgiving night.
I won't do the bag because that's too loud.
So, the thing is that you've heard about Stephen Hawking talking about how we shouldn't go out into the universe.
But that was a while back when he said that, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't too far back. I mean, it's, perspective. But now he's saying they're saying Stephen Hawking is right to fear advanced alien civilizations. We should keep our heads low. Now, here's my immediate response to that. We've been broadcasting radio waves since the 1930s. Mm-hmm. And actually, the Olympics, the German Olympics, or the World Olympics, but held in Germany, that was broadcast. It was televised,
right?
Because they were, I guess, first television broadcast was during that time. So, I think it's a little late to kind of keep our head low.
Yeah, I think if anything, if they're out there, they would have found us by now, a long time before we've gone and searched for them, and frankly, I'm sure they don't find us that terribly interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, Fran, you're okay. Just thought I'd put that out there real quick.
Why? What did she do?
She said she was sorry about keeping us a little late, but that's all right.
Oh, whatever.
I'm doing the razzmatazz with her.
Probably, we need.
So, yeah, I mean, what's up with Stephen Hawking? And I don't know, but I think that. It's too late. They already know we're here. I mean, when we put that bomb off, the first testing of
that setup.
I mean, it was like hello from Earth, and
that's the equivalent of having warp drive in the Star Trek world. That's when you're advanced enough to be out there with the rest of the kids.
And then, of course, if you want to believe in the special. The space program that's out, the hidden space program, or whatever you want to call it, that supposedly is out there. We're already out there.
Well, can I mention what I heard, or have I mentioned this before?
Now you sound, it's, speaking of.
Yeah, see, I will listen to certain things while I'm trying to fall asleep at night, because certain broadcasts that go over an hour, I'll fall asleep within that time, and then I'll pick it up later.
Right.
Like on the way to work, finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening, because there wasn't anything to watch. But I was listening to, one of them is either Dreamland with Whitley Strieber, and the other one's Dr. J. I don't know what the name of Dr. J's program is. But both of those very consistently have on Linda Moulton Howe, and she just comes on and gives her whatever updates she's got on whatever.
Might be Whitley Strieber's Unknown Country.
Well, it's both.
Or
it's
Undiscovered, it's
Dreamland. Well, that's his website. That's his website you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's both, because she's very consistent on both.
Right.
So I was listening to her on one of those, talking to him and some other person, that the basic gist of this is what I understand is she said that World War II was not about us, not about the different Axis powers trying to do something. It was a war being fought between extraterrestrial beings, but they were using us to help fight it.
Right.
And that the reason Hitler was so gung-ho about trying to start this new race of people with tall, blonde, blue-eyed, the German ideal, the Aryan ideal, was not because Germans are necessarily typically that type. It is because of the Nordics, so-called Nordics. We call them Nordics because that is sort of the prevalent look of the Nordic human races, the tall, blonde, blue-eyed, beautiful. But that's what this alien race looks like. Because if he was trying to get us ready, trying to get the Germans ready for them to take over, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the real reason for the Aryan look, is because of the Nordic race. And there was a fight between 3 factions, and they were using us somehow to get involved, but we didn't know about that. It was really fascinating. It's easy to find. You could just Google that. I think it has to do with World War II in UFOs and aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fascinating. I had never heard that particular theory.
Well, that
was totally new to me.
Definitely interesting. Linda is just a wealth of information of different things, and over the years, I can tell you that out of the many times that I've heard her, she's always has something interesting.
We have a caller.
All right, caller, you're on the air. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Ty from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Hello, Ty. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well, and yourselves?
Oh, we're alive and kicking.
Happy normal every other day in Canada day.
And happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I think
we have ours early.
Yeah, y'all do a Thanksgiving, but it's earlier in the. It's like what, September, October, maybe, or.
I believe so. Yeah. So. But I was going to make a comment about Stephen Hawking.
Sure, go ahead.
I think he's been watching too many alien invasion movies.
Really?
To tell you the truth. Yeah, I think so. Because if you don't know that aliens have visited this Earth either in the past or currently, then you must be living under a rock.
That's what I thought. Of Stephen Hawking, of all people, should know that they've probably been seeing us longer than we've even speculated about them being there.
I find it hard to believe that Stephen Hawking doesn't know more than he's letting on. Because some of the times that we've heard him say statements, it's kind of like he does know something. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you've ever saw where there was a thing where Reagan did a thing at the UN, and he says, if there was one thing to unite us, would be an alien invasion, and then put away our problems. And I'm paraphrasing that, but it just seems like he knows more than he's letting on.
Surely he does.
Either that or he's been compromised.
Ah, like Carl Sagan was?
Just like Carl Sagan, yeah. Because Carl Sagan was all for searching for aliens and the SETI program and all that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, he went 180.
They got to him.
And basically said they don't exist and why bother looking for them and that sort of thing. So... And like you said, Surlana, we've been broadcasting since Marconi, and that's 100 light years out, and there are plenty of stars that are 100 light years out or less.
Mm-hmm. They could have easily picked up on that, but whether they could have understood, who knows? But
it's enough to go like, "Hey, whoa, what's going on here? Let's go investigate."
Yeah, like when we got warp drive and the Vulcan's like, there's another one that's got warp drive. We better check that out.
Exactly. It would be a signal at any rate.
Well, the bomb was our second signal, I guess.
Well, that would have probably scared them that we have the bomb. And you've obviously heard about UFOs flying over nuclear sites and disabling.
Yes, I had just listened to, again, Linda talk about that with, where these things where she does an interview, but she'll air it on someone's show, pre-recorded, where this UFO that many people on this military base saw, and it had a couple of the ICBMs and just some regular military ammunition in one of these bunkers, and it came in and methodically did this grid search, and they chased it off with the F-16s or whatever they had, and it led them way off because it knew the turnaround time for the F-16s took them a while to go in one direction and then turn around and come back. And in the meantime, while they were turning, this thing came back instantly and just resumed it's like it didn't care what we were doing. It was going to finish its job.
Like it was determined to do something, yeah.
That was really fascinating. 'Cause this guy put his hand in this beam, this weird beam, and it changed color, and his hand went numb, and he couldn't feel his hand anymore. And I'm like, well, that was a brilliant move. Put your hand in an alien beam that you don't know what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen?
I even heard somewhere that the Rendlesham incident, they had secret nuclear weapons on that base. And it makes me wonder if that wasn't why there was a UFO there.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they're really attracted to that, and that is one of the things that where they go in and they'll turn them on and off just to see, like, oh, okay, we can control that. Yeah, sure. It's like somebody's got an eye on what we're doing and doesn't necessarily want us to be messing with those. It's kind of interesting. Now, we're trying not to talk about the movie we saw today, which was Arrival. And it has a lot to do with communication with an alien race. So it was, and we're trying not to talk about that till we talk to Patrick Spohr, but it's going to be difficult.
It's going to be difficult to hold off.
Well, we saw Independence Day. The next one, I forget what the byline. Resurgence.
Independence Day 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's what it was.
What did you think of that movie?
I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was good for a sequel, and it just shows you that humans can be intelligent. We don't have to be the low end of the scale in space, so to speak. And it makes me wonder if the aliens are not vested in making us so we don't blow ourselves up.
But is that just because they want us to not destroy the environment so they can use it later, or are we going to be a big tourist attraction someday and work for them? Or it's hard to know.
We could be a zoo, an interplanetary zoo. But I got a feeling life is very prevalent out there, and that, I mean, you just look at some of the things they're finding down at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, those things look alien in themselves. And you think about what might be on other planets. We have no idea what kind of DNA they have, or if they have the same DNA but different structures. I got a feeling that they want to keep us around, not necessarily to invade us or to use our land or water or whatever that is, because there's a lot of that out there. There's a lot. You look at one of these asteroids. I think they said it was worth $1 trillion worth of precious metals. Just a small asteroid,
right,
was worth $1 trillion in minerals and gold and platinum and titanium. You know, that's just a small asteroid. I don't think they're here to mine gold or to get our precious belongings. They may be here because we're intelligent.
Well,
that could be. They could be here for the pumpkin pie. You don't know. It's just
pumpkin pie.
Something we did not have.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Sorry, we're a little bitter. We had to eat at Denny's for Thanksgiving.
Have you had your Thanksgiving dinner yet?
Yeah,
Denny's.
Sort of. Yeah, we went to Denny's.
We didn't get invited anywhere, so we're like, well, we didn't have any plans. So I'm like, well, all the stuff that he loves for Thanksgiving, all their traditional things, it seems silly to try to make all that or learn how to make all it for just him to eat it. So it's like kind of a waste.
Yeah, because I like it all. I like
he likes everything.
Green bean casserole is one of my favorites. The stuffing,
cranberries,
cranberry.
Did you notice? You know,
cornbread.
Yeah, you notice. You know when you go get cough syrup and it has that little cup on top of it, you're supposed to measure your dosage. That was the size of the cranberry they gave him at Denny's.
And it was kind of watery in it. I mean, it was like, okay.
But you consider the traditional cranberry dish in America is canned cranberry, and when you open it, it comes out in the shape of the can. That's what everybody loves.
Everybody loves that.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah, and then it was...
Yes, exactly. You read my mind there, Ty. But yeah, I love that cranberry.
Mashed potatoes and gravy, turkey with gravy. But,
a company that
off
makes
the cranberry, wait.
a company that does make good cranberry is a Boston Market. There's not many of them now, but
they keep closing them.
Yeah, but they make a good cranberry. It's like they have walnuts and all. It's kind of a I don't know. It's good.
Hipster cranberry.
Cranberry, but it's delicious.
But we don't get the turkey. Like even if we get invited to somebody's house, depending on who it is, we don't get the turkey that I'm used to because from Louisiana, which is Cajun fried turkey, which sounds odd, I'm sure, but it is the most moist, succulent, flavorful turkey you've ever had. They basically take an entire turkey and they dunk it in hot oil in a big thing outside. You have to dunk the whole thing down to fry it. And you hear stories about people, houses catching on fire and, their, patios and decks. And
that's because usually they're dipping it when it's frozen.
Yeah. So it's catching all that.
Just incinerated.
Well, they have an appliance for that now.
Yeah, I've seen them. I mean, because it's popular to deep fry the turkey.
It says up here,
I was
Dennis says, up here at North, we're still trying to figure out grits. And, of course, we got there after the grit cut off.
Yeah.
The grits cut off at 2 p.m.
I just don't understand why.
Why do grits expire at 2 p.m.?
Okay, Denny's is supposed to be like a diner,
24 hours.
24-hour thing. And grits is such a basic thing that I don't understand why.
This is the South. This is Texas, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do grits after 2 p.m.? What is the the chemical compound that expires beyond 2 p.m.? It's not difficult.
Well, as a Canuck, could you probably kind of explain what grits are to me?
Well, okay, think of it. It's can you find?
I didn't start eating grits till like very recently in my life.
Oh, sorry about.
But the thing that's cool about, first we'll find out what it is. I'll explain to you.
I don't want to compare it to oatmeal, but it can be thick.
It's coarsely ground corn kernels boiled with water and milk, and they're kind of like
tofu
in a bland state.
Bland as tofu, but when you add flavor
you can add
to it,
butter to it, or
bacon.
pepper, or bits of bacon, or I like to take two little drops of honey and then stir it up. It's just good when they're warm and they're done right. They're just perfect.
Well, it almost sounds like cornmeal.
Yeah, basically it's almost like that. But you can have it kind of runny, or you can have it more fluffy, depending on how much water you put in.
In other words, you could do the same consistency of oatmeal, where it's runny or thick and hearty.
Because we have instant grits. You tear open a package, you pour it out, and you put your amount of water in. You stir it up, and you just heat it up in a microwave, and there you go. But that's really the best grits are the kind you put in your on the stovetop in a pot, and you can add stuff there.
It's definitely a southern thing, but
it's good though. Depending
it's
on
delicious
how
if it's done right.
Yeah.
It's a great quick way to.
It's one of those comfort foods. It's good breakfast food. It just kind of feels like sticks to your ribs, feels hearty, along with eggs and bacon and whatnot. I almost got pancakes. I kind of should have just got pancakes, really.
Anything with bacon is good.
Oh, yes.
Their bacon's kind of... You know what it is? The Egg and I. We have these local restaurants here called the Egg and I.
They make good...
And they make good. They're only open for breakfast and lunch, and then they close after that. But they take the egg to a higher art form. It's just good. It tastes like... Everywhere else feels like plastic, eggs.
And the bacon is crispy, nice and crispy.
It's not that limp, partially cooked, fatty stuff.
Thrown in the microwave just to heat it up, to put on a burger kind of thing.
And the pancakes are as big as your head.
I mean, they're huge.
Belgian waffles, too. But it's good tasting, good quality. I mean, you can tell a difference between going in there and going to somewhere like Denny's or Waffle House or even IHOP. Is a huge difference. If you ever come to Houston, we'll take you.
Okay, that's a deal. I'm kind of excited to try out a new restaurant open up here called Popeyes.
That's new to y'all?
That's new for Edmonton, yeah.
Love that chicken at Popeyes. Well, they have the best biscuits.
Biscuits, in fact...
I'm not thrilled about their actual chicken.
Biscuits, and usually they have honey there as well.
And biscuits and honey.
Biscuits and honey.
Just get like a barrel of those and take them home.
The chicken strips are pretty good because you can get them spicy.
I'm so freaking hungry.
I could tell you're hungry now.
I'm so hungry.
You're just like dripping over there. You need a bib over there.
Yeah, because see, we didn't get seconds at Denny's. Everybody else is passed out on all their home at Thanksgiving they've had with their families, and they've had seconds, thirds, and fourths. And I took a nap, and I woke up hungry, and I'm just like trying to open bags of chips, anything going on here. But you loved Popeyes for a while. You worked somewhere near Popeyes.
My last job I worked near a Popeyes, and I'd go there pretty frequently. But I'd get the spicy chicken strips, and they were really good. And then the mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Because they mix it with dirty gravy, and it's got little bits of sausage in it and stuff, which is good. And then of course dirty rice is always good. I mean,
Popeyes came out of New Orleans, didn't it?
Yeah. So it's a good place. I'm surprised you're not keen on going there more often than.
Well, it's not close, is it?
Well, there's one over here off of Gessner.
Yeah.
But you're
Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen, New Orleans heritage, authentic, spicy, mild fried chicken, seafood too.
Well, they're touting that it's like homemade.
Yeah, I'd say
homemade fast food.
Yeah, homemade fast food. I mean, it's better than your average fast food. I mean, but it's not way expensive.
Well, that's good.
Well, Dennis is chatting right now. He says Edmonton doesn't even have an In-N-Out burger.
Well, neither do we.
We don't, but we have Whataburger.
Yeah, that's our thing.
That's our Texas thing. It's a Texas thing, and man, a Whataburger is really delicious.
Once they're open today.
When you've been up late clubbing and doing that thing, I'm just speaking from experience. That there's nothing better that after the club to go to Whataburger and get hooked up.
They open that late? I thought that was Waffle House and Taco Bell.
24/7. Whataburger is open 24/7.
Wonder if they're open right now.
I'm sure they are. But yeah, so
we're definitely getting in the car after this.
Man, Whataburger, that's a place to go. That's another place. If you come down, you've got the Egg and I for breakfast, and then you got a Whataburger for
Whataburger,
lunch.
I hope you like salt. Well, because that is the most prevalent.
It's not overly done. I mean, they salt their burgers, but it's not too.
It's a little salty.
Oh, whatever.
Taco Cabana is a good place to take people to.
Yeah.
Well, the closest thing we have here is Tim Hortons, of course, which is wholly Canadian, and of course a Wendy's just next to us, like within half a block, like 2 minutes walk from the door.
See, I don't really get a grasp of how infiltrated we are into other countries with our fast food. I guess because I've never left the country, so I wouldn't know. But places like Kentucky Fried Chicken actually have done pretty well in places like China and Japan, whereas places like Slotsky's, I don't know if you know what Slotsky's is, did not, because Subway they don't understand sandwich.
Yeah, they don't understand the sandwich concept.
Of sandwich, yeah.
Well, speaking of companies that didn't do well, when Target opened up in Canada, it didn't do too well.
Mm-hmm.
It lost $1 billion before it had to move out.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but I watched a thing about the documentary about the Target stores, and one guy went in one and it was totally empty, and I guess he was talking to the guy, a retail space realtor or whatever, and it was just really surprising. Was there a big fiasco about that, or wasn't there something that went down with that, Ty?
Yeah, there was. Everybody was excited because they thought it was a good alternative to Walmart.
Yeah.
which is pretty well the biggest box store we have
It's a
around.
hipster Walmart place.
But people found that the prices were either on par or more expensive, and so over time they lost a lot of money. I think Target lost something like $1 billion before they had to close down their stores and move out. Literally $1 billion.
Yeah, I heard it was very significant like that, and which is a shame. I mean, I know that they are, just like you said, on par or a little bit more expensive. And I've always looked at Target as that place that that you go to because you just fed up with going to Walmart in general.
See, in my hometown where I'm from, we didn't get a Target till the early 2000s. And, that place had been there since, my town had been there since 18, that's when it was established. So, I mean, we went a long time without a Target in either city, Bossier or Shreveport, and we didn't get one until then.
Ronald in the chat room brought up White Castle. We don't have one of those. In fact,
well, it's the South. Yeah.
Well, in the South, as you go towards Georgia, I worked at what is called a Crystals, and it's basically just the same kind of hamburger, small little hamburgers that White Castle does. And I love you can get the White Castles at the store frozen, but not quite 100% the same. But they're still delicious. Man, I would love if they would bring a White Castles or even Crystals, for that matter, over into Texas. I think small little hamburgers would be great.
Sliders.
Don't they call those sliders? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much sliders. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you bite in, they slide right out.
No, I've made them here at home. Just with a little. They actually sell slider buns now at the grocery store.
Yeah, I've seen packaged sliders where frozen packaged ones are, and they come with the bun. So you just put whatever topping you want on it. And I think it was a no-name brand. But I just wanted to phone and wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you, Ty. We appreciate that.
And make my comment about Stephen Hawking, because I got a feeling he's starting to lose his marbles. I was a great follower of his, but he and a few other people are starting to not make sense anymore, and that's a shame.
It is a shame. It's, I guess, just the world we live in right now, Ty. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Well, there's that whole theory about empty Walmarts that are being shut down because of quote-unquote plumbing issues. Like a plumbing issue's ever stopped a Walmart from being open. Every bathroom I've been into Walmart should have been shut down years ago, but that it's actually a secret government facility for, black budget projects and things. They're just kind of like hiding things in plain sight, taking over these Walmarts. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that sometime.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Walmart in years. I just can't stand the place.
Yeah, it's hard. That's why we do a lot of our shopping on Amazon when we can. And
well, it's not so bad now for us. Now that they brought back self-checkout, so now we can just get in and out. So
for the basic things,
yeah.
But most of our grocery shopping's done out of H-E-B.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Curbside,
rocket.
Throw the gas.
That's even worse, the self-checkout, because it never works. You're always going to have somebody standing by to reinitialize it or to correct something, because it tells you to place the object on something, and if you don't place it there, then the whole thing is ruined, and then you got to start over again.
I'm usually pretty good about it, but as long as I'm not buying cough suppressant, then
you got to check their age. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
spray paint.
I'm gonna be making meth, so I got to buy one package of this stuff, or whatever kind of thing. But anyway,
they do card you on some of it.
Well, Ty, thanks for calling in.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we love it when you call in. So you have an open door policy here.
Right on. I always listen every day, or not every day, every week. So,
well, we appreciate you.
Don't miss Saturday night. It's gonna be good.
Oh no, I won't. And we appreciate you guys. Canadians love you too. And
speaking as the representative.
I represent Canada. Okay, you take care, eh?
All right, you too, eh?
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So Skype worked?
Yeah.
Cool.
Even after it's been updated, now we haven't tried a three-way, but, we'll figure that out. But coming up.
So do you, I know it's a 2-hour show that we're doing tonight. It's just for tonight.
Yeah, well, make sure we get the housekeeping done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is this, Thursday? Okay, Saturday night. SaturDay. Don't miss this one. It'll be fun. Comedian Rich Scheidner. If you don't know him, go look him up on YouTube, see some of his old stand-up, see some of his more current stand-up. But he's written a book about his experience in the height of stand-up comedy in the early 80s. He was there. He had a front row seat when he saw up-and-coming people like Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, even the great Bill Hicks that came out of the comedy clubs here in Houston, Sam Kinison. He got to know those guys. He got to hang out with Rodney Dangerfield at Dangerfield's comedy club, and he was right there in the middle of all of it. So make sure to bring some questions for us to ask him, and we'll be talking to him live on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. And just to round off next month, we're going to be talking about David Bowie on the 3rd. We have our good friend of the show, Patrick Sporer, coming back on the 10th.
That's why we're waiting to talk about Arrival.
Mm-hmm. And the 17th, we might have a guest that night. I don't want to disclose that just yet because
we got to get it going.
We got to reach out. Surlana has some emails that is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a live show on the 24th. So, when you're chilling out in the evening and you've unwrapped all your presents or you're getting ready to listen to Spaceboy Universe.
Maybe I'll just read some crazy headlines.
And then, of course, the 31st, we'll have our prediction show, and we'll discuss what predictions we made for this year to see if they came true. I
still have that document.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing...
I know one prediction that actually was right on the money. So.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that then. And, of course... as always, you're listening to the SBU Network. Check out the SBU Network at sbunetwork.com, which has the shows that are featured here on the network. We've got Reverend John Polk's show, the Quantum Hologram Matrix, that airs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And his show's going to be 100% call-in next Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a call-in show. We're going to really test the board here. And so check him out on Wednesday nights. And, of course, Spaceboy Music Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, of course, the Universe wouldn't be the same without Spaceboy Universe. And that's Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anything else you want to add to that, Surlana, before we cue the music here?
Well, you got it all sewn up, so just be with us Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
As always, we want to thank all the Space Cadets for showing up this evening. And remember, we will see you on Saturday. And say goodnight, Surlana.
Night, Surlana.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.